So, but it added to that once I got into this relationship with her and realized almost immediately, oh my God, she's fucking crazy. And
almost immediately you realized
and this
that.
is horrible. But it was like, in my head I went, I can't just break up with her. I just ruined my friendship.
Yeah.
This has to mean something.
I've got to hang in.
This has to mean something. That I did this.
So you stayed in there.
I stayed in there, and it was like through, constant suicide threats and.
Oh, really? That's really crazy. Good. Yeah.
The immediate absence of sex.
Oh,
as
really?
soon as we became a couple.
Except to have the kids that would guarantee her income for the rest of her life.
Yes.
So
that lasted a slim 11 years.
Wow.
Of celibacy.
Isn't that interesting though? Because I'm the same way. But you knew she was crazy right away.
Oh yeah, and from then on, it was just me trying to find a way to get out of it in a decent way, And again, I'm 21 years old. You think you can help people at that age,
I'm telling you, dude, that does not go away.
It does for me. Oh yeah.
It's still a lesson I have to learn. I was surprised that I had to learn it. I have that part of me.
I see crazy eyes now, and I'm out of it immediately.
Really? Good for you.
I can tell if someone's crazy at like 2 or 3 blocks away.
Really?
Yes.
Just they have an aura.
Yeah, well, I grew up with a father who was borderline personality disorder.
Was he really diagnosed?
Yeah, diagnosed, yeah. I didn't find this out till when my first wife and I split up. She was diagnosed as borderline personality disorder.
See, I'm just dealing with somebody that has those characteristics. Well, I mean, it's over now, but it's tricky stuff.
Terrifying.
It's terrifying because you will never be able to give them what they want.
No, and the more you try, the more they hate you.
Oh, wow. That is fucking beautiful.
Yeah. So the more you say, do you love me if I do this? And then, yes, I love you if you do that. Well, what if I do this? Yeah. Yes, I love you. All right, how about this?
That's right.
That's
part of it.
And it's like, you don't love me.
Yeah, I proved it.
Yeah.
But they find people like that have the dynamic that will keep trying.
Yes,
and
trying to make it better.
And you have nothing else can happen, but you become depleted completely on a soul level.
Yeah, and again, because having grown up with my father,
you're wired to engage with it.
Because my whole life was trying to get him to love me, and trying to prove. And also, that his love was always conditional.
Right.
Growing up.
And that's not supposed to be a parental love, the conditional thing.
And so for me, part of it was like as I learned in therapy, was that for me, it was like trying to prove to myself that unconditional love was possible.
Right.
And by giving it to someone else.
Who will never be able to.
Who can never accept it.
And we can't be unconditional anyways.
No, but I thought I no matter what she does, I'll just keep loving her. And of course, eventually I became, twisted and emotionally as well. Well,
because I just dealt with something like that, and I thought that what I was doing, being that I was married to somebody once before who wasn't like that, we had other issues, but I thought, well, I'm going to do it right this time and just sort of make some compromises and accept the way she wants to live her life as best I can.
Yeah.
And then you realize, wait, she's defying me. To like her here.
Yeah.
Wait, that's pushing it. You're pushing it, but I'll try to deal with it. Wait, you're pushing harder.
Yeah. And I'd grown up watching my dad treat my mom like shit. So
Holy fuck.
Then being like a young man who considers himself a feminist, I thought I wanted to prove that men could be something different from what my father was. So there's all this dynamic feeding into me, just going, okay, all right.
I can take it.
Just one more day. Yeah. One more day. All right, if I just figure this out.
Yeah, figure it out.
If I just figure it out, then she'll be happy. And she'll love me, and we'll both be happy. And that transitions to, okay, one more day, and if I can figure this out, I can leave and she won't kill herself. And I won't be responsible for her killing herself. And then it's just... and then it gets sicker and sicker, until, and again, then finally I was like, living in LA, starting news radio. And for the first time in my life, I was down here for about 6 months on my own, starting news radio.
Yeah.
Cause she was back home, pregnant with, our second child.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't want to come down to LA.
Yeah.
Because it would destroy the fetus.
Somehow.
Yeah.
She might not have been wrong.
Yeah. But, so I was here for 6 months on my own, and it was like the first time in 11 years where I'm going, where I was relaxed.
You could breathe, yeah.
Suddenly I could relax, and I was going out and having fun with the cast.
Yeah.
You know, and I was falling in love with Maura Tierney. You know, she's so great. You know, if I was single, I could go out with someone like that.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those things. You know, I remember like driving in my car on the way to work one day, and it was a Bare Naked Lady song came on my stereo.
Yeah.
A Steve Page song called and it was I Never Meant to Break Your Heart. It was the song.
Yeah.
And it was like, and the song comes on, and I suddenly just burst out in tears as I'm driving.
Oh, man.
And like I have to pull off the road.
Yeah.
And just sit at the side of the road, just weeping. And that's when I go, oh, okay, this is a sign, I think, that I'm not happy. I think when I'm so unhappy, I can't drive safely.
If the wrong song comes on.
Yeah. So that like got us into therapy, and that eventually led to things starting to improve, which of course led to her taking off with the kids.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. As soon as things actually started to get almost bearable for me to live this, you know, going, oh.
And she got better too?
No. It just seemed like she was getting better because I was doing things I went, like it used to be like in our marriage, it would be like I would finish work and I had better be home within the amount of time it takes to drive from the studio to the driveway.
Right.
And any time that unaccounted for there would be the cause of a fight.
Right.
Like if I stopped off, like Steve Fruit and I, if we stopped off at a CD store to buy
Right.
CDs,
Right.
which we love to do.
Yeah.
That would be a huge fight that would last for months.
Right. But when
know.
you fought, like, was there yelling and screaming and?
Oh, yelling, screaming. She would tear my clothes, throw stuff at me.
Oh, my God.
Physically violent. I would have to restrain her.
Really?
Yeah, it would become really physically violent.
That's that borderline fun, it's called. Yeah.
And
but isn't it interesting though, because you're wired for it, and I seem to be wired for it too, that when you're engaged in that fighting thing, that it's horrible, but it's compelling, and usually after those fights, there's that weird reprieve. Where you're both exhausted from it, and it's really the only time where you're actually like, no.
I didn't have that. No, I didn't have that.
Oh.
That sounds nice. That sounds like that would have been a nice.
Maybe if I just waited longer, I could have had what you had.
Yeah. No, there'd be this horrible fight.
Yeah.
And then for her, it would be over, which usually meant I had apologized and it was all my fault.
Yeah.
And suddenly she's fine.
Yeah.
Like going, everything's good. And, you know, but I'm still like,
you're
shaking.
Getting cancer. Yeah.
I'm shaking, and I'm feeling this, you know, rage and self-loathing.
Oh my God.
And in her head, it's going, what the fuck's your problem?
Oh God.
God, get over it.
Yeah.
You know.
And you're doing talk radio on news radio on top of all this.
Yeah, I'm doing news radio, and
you're. I guess that's interesting, because have you ever thought about how much of your comedic character comes from this ability to repress emotion?
Oh yeah.
Like, because I just really realized there's something about the comedic persona that you sort of manage even the most horrendous of things. Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because the thing I learned from my mother, which was basically her motto for everything in life was don't fuss.
Okay.
I said, oh, don't fuss.
But there's things,
horrible things are happening. Oh, don't fuss.
Oh, it's so beautifully painful.
Yeah. So
you get a divorce from this one finally.
We finally split up, and because she leaves me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because we're in therapy, and I insisted on getting us into therapy, and so we're in therapy for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And again, I'm thinking, oh, well, I feel free to go out and buy a pair of socks.
Yeah.
And not have to get home and go, how could you buy those socks?
Yeah, right.
Those socks are ugly.
You could be proud of your sock.
You are an ugly person for choosing ugly socks.
Oh, God.
That's the kind of, So I had not made a decision about anything in 11 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except in my work. In my work, I make decisions all day long. Huge decisions.
Right.
I'm helping.
And you're functioning.
I help run a show.
Yeah.
I run the Kids in the Hall with the other 4 guys. And making decisions without impromptu. But at home, it's like nothing.
But were the guys sort of like, dude, you gotta?
No one does that. No, they just quietly hated her.
Yeah. That's the Canadian way.
Yeah, they just quietly hated her, and like
really, no one.
Same thing. My whole family just quietly hated her.
And you were just taking the hit. No support, no sort of lifelines. Just sort of like
no, and it's like, and none of them were allowed in my house.
Because of her.
Yeah. She wouldn't let anyone come over. And, but so and then same thing when we get down to LA. But yeah, so then finally that's over. So 11 years, really 11 years of celibacy.
Yeah.
Um,
Aggravated celibacy.
yeah, which is not sustainable.
No.
Because I do like sex.
Yeah, sure.
And at that point I remembered liking sex.
Yeah. You had an idea of what it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so suddenly I'm single, living in LA and starring in a network sitcom.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, all right.
You're an item. You're hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although then
You're a catch.
Then I found out early on. I found out that I had forgotten how to come. That was a problem.
Really?